intensifying.
Boner, boner intensifying.
Boner alert! Boner alert!
This video is not doing justice. What's going on here? Maybe from this angle? Oh, there we go. Let me see. Oreo, whatever you want to call it.
It's probably the same engine.
Two people.
Are we good? Hey, doctor.
Good. You ever blown the trans?
You mean like on the Ford?
No, he him.
Looks run out, buddy. All right, so welcome back to another video. As you can see, we've got the cage and the frame, sexy as all hell, and I got the boys helping me. Thank you to the boys. This frame, cage, powder coated by our friends at Pacific Finish, and they did just an insane job. It's hard to tell because, you know, you can't justify it like if it was in person. It just looks really good. And thanks, babe. Cage made by TMW Off-Road. SF Raceworks designed some window nets for me, but we'll get into that after. Right now we're just putting in the trans. You ready? You alright? You keep looking at that thing like it's
putting it in the trans.
Oh, you gonna put that arm in the trans? There you go. Alright, we got the tranny in. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. Alright, now I got this drive shaft from the donor car. Engine's all washed up. I'm gonna stick it in the machine right there. Drive shaft's on, trans is bolted down. There it is. Progress update. Engine trans. Cage is bolted. Got some fenders on there just to mock up the look. I got the wiring harness. I'll probably do that today, and that'll probably be it because I am waiting for the rear bulkhead, so I can't really do the radius rods. I'm waiting for my shocks, or excuse me, my springs, so I can put the shocks on. And the front, the whole gusset kit, I don't have it yet, as well as the shock tower brace. So I'll do the other stuff like the wiring harness, you know, for the drivetrain and the electronics on the inside. I'll probably run all the plastics for the inside, and yeah, a bunch of little stuff you guys don't care about. We'll just update you when it's at that time. All right, progress update. Went ahead and started installing some of the panels here for the front wall and these upper ones as well. I got this in here. I ended up mounting the arms, the lowers. I don't have the gusset kit yet, but at least I wanted to position them in place so we can kind of get stuff out of the way because I got things everywhere. So I'm also going to mount the brake lines to the machine, kind of get that routed. I am waiting for a master cylinder for the brake system, so I don't have that yet. I could take that one, but I'm just going to do a new one. Same thing for the rear. I want to run the brake lines so everything's out of the way. And then I'm gonna have to go ahead and start installing these centerpieces with the shift cable, the cooling lines running to the front, as well as the radiator. At least got to position it over here. Maybe not, you know, completely mount it, but at least position it. And then I pulled off the steering column from that machine. The only thing is I got to make sure I'm centered on the current rack before I put the eye shaft onto the rack. So I think this is actually going to come back out because I am doing a steering brace from Black Ops machine. That's something I gotta install, and I'm not sure if I gotta pull the rack back off, but for the meanwhile I mounted it up with 2 bolts. I do have to go get 3 longer bolts for this side, or just steal them off that machine, but honestly I'd rather just do new bolts. I've been doing new bolts for basically everything. All these plastics are brand new, including the fenders. The old plastic for that machine, I'm probably just gonna put them back on, but I have it naked right now because I'm gonna reinforce that frame, and I don't know what we're gonna do with that yet. I want to put another motor in it and just use that as the beater, something that could just crash into a freaking bush and not worry about it, just laugh about it. But yeah, I have plastics for that, full plastics. These are all basically new except for this one. This one I did reuse, but that one's new over there. All the wall is gonna be new. Obviously we got new doors. I am reusing the panels that are going in here, but that's not a big deal. And what else? I mounted the rear trailing arms, kind of mocked those up in there. They're not bolted, they're just, you know, hanging around. And then this RPM exhaust too, I went ahead and mounted this to the frame here. Not really you know, perfectly mounted or permanently mounted. This whole setup, this turbo setup, is actually gonna get replaced, so there's no reason for me to tighten down the V-band clamp on this exhaust if we're gonna swap that out. So a lot of things coming from this machine. I do gotta do charge tubes from RPM. I'm gonna show you guys those because they're custom, they're really tricked out. There's a lot of tricked out stuff on this machine, like these lights. Check this out. These look absolutely sick. I love how that looks. And then charge tubes, we got custom charge tubes from our friends at RPM with my logo, and they're white for the machine. I think that's gonna look freaking sick on here. Let's get a little mock-up going. We are waiting for an intercooler from RPM, but that's gonna look so cool. So I'm definitely happy with that. And let me show you guys what I got for Big Blue. I showed this on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you gotta follow me. I post up cool shit all the time. And this is a custom blue anodized RPM blow off valve for Big Blue. These will not be made, so do not bother RPM with, hey, when are these coming out? I don't think they're coming out with them unless there's enough traffic. If there's a bunch of people saying, hey, we want these, then obviously they consider making the product. But definitely I don't think it's something they're gonna make. This was just a one-off for me, or at least it's the first one out there, you know. I also got blue charge tubes for Big Blue. I'm not running this one because it won't fit on my big turbo, but I am gonna run this Big Blue guy here. Actually, I'm torn. I'm not sure if I should run this blue one or should leave the black one on there, because the black one looks good, and with the blue on there, it just makes this piece pop a whole lot more, you know. So I really like the black tube with this, but I might run this because he did make it custom for me. So it's got my logo on here too, pretty cool. So I might run that, not 100% sure yet. Let's see. Also, might as well, since I'm in the garage, update you guys. Big Blue got a new set of HCR arms. And these are the lower shock mount arms. These pretty much mount your shock here to the lower arm instead of the top arm, hence the name lower shock mount arms. Then I also got some cool skid plates, one-offs, that were custom made for me by the guys over at SSS Off-Road, and they killed it. Look at that. Perfect fitment from those guys. I was so excited to put these on. I was worried they were gonna fit right, and they fit like a glove. And we sent them a 3D scanned file of these arms, and based off the file they made these skids. So shout out to Chris, by the way. He made that file for me. He has that crazy 3D scanner, and then he did that for me, and well, these guys knocked it all apart with the skid plates. Really cool stuff. So these are uniball arms. But anyways, enough of that. So this machine is coming out absolutely sick. We got tires underneath the machine, if you notice. We got BFGs, 35s, KM3s. Really excited for those. Those are freaking sick. A lot of panels are missing. We don't have a lot of parts. We don't have the doors. They're still at powder coat and paint. The fenders are still at paint. I'm still waiting for the bed delete, the intercooler. The airbox is going to be made by, or the airbox slash intake tube is going to be made by our friends over at T-Clan Fabrication. They're going to make that for me. And yeah, it's coming along, but it's freaking hot. So I think I'm going to call it for the day and take a break because it's steaming right now. We still got more parts here. We got hubs, we got the upper arms, and then we have these knuckles from RPM that I've had for quite some time, and I decided to use them on this project. The front ones, however, are stock knuckles, which a-okay, not worried about it. I had my buddy Armando from Pacific Finish sandblast these for me, and they came out brand new. So I do have to put new wheel bearings in. I thought I had wheel bearings for this machine. Turns out they're not it. I don't know what the hell these are, but they definitely don't fit. It's too small. So waiting for that. Last night I went ahead and put on my old Helix from this machine onto my secondary, just for shits and giggles. We're gonna see how the RPMs behave after we do this, because we are going to be running a bigger turbo, and this setup might not be enough weight, and that spring might be not the correct spring. I don't know how it's going to behave. I'm not a clutch expert, but we definitely might change the setup up. I also put the 2000 RPM high engagement spring on this primary. This primary is actually in really good condition, so I decided to keep it. I was gonna buy a P drive, but I went ahead and just left it alone, and now we're running this OEM secondary that this guy said is like new, and honestly it is in pretty new shape. I'd be surprised if I had 500 miles on it. So Running those clutches. I serviced those yesterday. The only other thing that I'm waiting for is nets. I have frames that are made already from my friends over at SF Raceworks. They made window net frames for me, but I gotta get the frames over to our friend Juan from Juan's Upholstery to do the netting, as well as I gotta send out some shocks for Big Blue because they are long overdue and I feel like they're not performing like they're supposed to be performing. So gotta send those shocks out to get serviced. And then one other thing, springs for that machine. I got a set of MTS off-road springs, and that's what we're gonna throw on this machine. But those I just got in, and I'm about to send them over to powder coat, so that's gonna take another week or two. But I'm not gonna revalve the shocks because, well, I just don't have the time. So maybe in the future we will. Maybe in Glamis we'll hook up with MTS and get those revalved. But for the time being, this is what we got, and I'm super happy with the turnout. The only thing that is out of my budget, and I kind of didn't want to justify spending for this machine, and yes, I know I've pretty much done everything to it already, is a intake. I couldn't find an intake that I wanted for a good price, affordable, and I'm not gonna put an intake on it. We're gonna stick with the OEM one. We're probably gonna put some RPM clamps on here to keep it from splitting, but that we're gonna keep that intake. We're gonna run that, and hopefully it holds the boost. So the turbo that I'm getting is not crazy, but it's definitely going to be more than stock, so we're going to keep an eye on the intake. If you guys have any suggestions as far as what I could run that's affordable, still looks good, and gets rid of obviously the ugly plastic, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to run something cool because basically everything else on this machine is custom and it's looking damn sexy, and it kind of, especially because we're doing a bed delete, it's kind of unsexy to have this intake that's just plain old plastic. So lots of work to do. Honestly, I'm super excited. We got lighting for this machine as well. Nothing crazy. We're just gonna run the Baja Designs headlights, and then we got Doom Gear dome lights are gonna be everywhere on this machine. One on the cage, a couple at the floorboards, a ton back here, probably 4 in the back, another 3 in the front. It's gonna be lighting up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Well, not really, because it's all gonna be white, but it's gonna look really cool. And as far as visibility for the rear, we're gonna have one 4-foot hyper white from 5150 whips. That's gonna look perfect, as well as we're gonna have some custom, not custom, new to the market chase lights. I want to say custom because I haven't seen them anybody else use them, but they're not custom. They're making these and selling these, and we're gonna sell them very soon on the website. It's called Level Up Ruckus Chase Lights, and this is their 12-inch version, and it looks really cool. It has a little bit of a radius to go onto the cage, so you have a nice flush and flat look, and these are going to be really nice. They say they're really bright, and hopefully they look good on the machine. So I'll give you guys a quick glimpse of what this should look like. It's gonna be something like that, one on each side. They make a longer model, I think it's 24 inches, but I can't fit it because of the welds from the intrusion bars from TMW. So either way, this is gonna look good. So other details on this machine that you guys are gonna see is PRP. We are doing PRP seats. I think they're gonna look goddamn good. I really love the way I set them up in the configurator. If you guys want PRP seats, you guys know I can get you guys some PRP seats, and they look freaking amazing. We have them on Big Blue, and on this machine they're gonna look so goddamn good. For the sand shoulder, the machine is gonna look a little funny because we do have a scatter shield that we're gonna run on this machine, as well as it looks like a sand car. I mean, bed delete, no real storage, and obviously all the lightweight Dooner arms. You would think we would have sand paddles at the show, but we're not. We're gonna run these KM3, so it is gonna look a little funny, but we do have a sand paddle setup in mind for the future, and that's gonna look really good. But for the time being, this is what we got, and it looks freaking great. I'm happy with it, really happy with it. I think that's it for this video, guys. The heat is killing me. I'm a little exhausted and my face is a little burned. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Hopefully it'll be a part 2 to this machine. As I get more parts in, we'll be putting more parts on, and I can't wait. It looks freaking sick. I think the wife really likes it because it is the wife's car, right? We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. See you guys in the next video. Peace out, peace out, peace out.